Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to paint labels. And they make great ephemera, and we can mass produce them, and we'll have lots just to be able to rip off and just stick into your journals or your pages or your little booklets or anything that you're making, and they'll be already ready to use. So I'm calling this video Will It Paint? So come join me and let's have some fun. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna find out if labels will paint. So these are like full sheets, just the big sheets here of labels, and we'll do those in a minute. So let's move those to the side, and what I want to work with right now is these. These are 4-inch long by 2 inches wide. Okay. And I know they're kind of hard to see on here, huh? But you can see, here, this might be easier. See, they come off like that. So they're just sticky labels. I got them at Goodwill. And just these, just labels. So that's what they look like. Just a package of, just some labels. Okay. And what we're gonna start with is I got all kinds of stuff here. So what I want to do, because I do not have a jelly plate, those fancy jelly plates that everybody's got. I just have like a piece of vellum here that came with my stamp. They came with like my stamp like that. So what I want to do is load up some spray on it. And the spray that I'm using is, and if you guys have watched my videos before, I use Rit dye. And the color that I put in here, I kind of did a mixture. I did coral. So this is just liquid Rit dye, and I did about a half a cup. Whoops, I already started painting. Half a cup. I did like a half a lid in it, just depending on how much you want to use, and it's all concentrate. Like no water is added. So I did a half a lid of that. Camel. I did a half a lid of this. And the other one was golden yellow, which I'm gonna open it. But I'll show you guys. It's kind of like an orange. It's so bizarre. I don't know why. But like when I dye my banner flags and my tie-dye stuff that I do, it looks yellow when it's all said and done. But when you spray it out concentrate, it's more of an orange. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so that's what's in here. And we're just gonna, I'm planning on getting messy today. So make sure you have like a wet cloth. Whoops, I'm splatting everything everywhere. This is gonna be one of those messy days. Paper towel is always nice to have too, beside you. Okay. All right. There we go. Well, this one's not. There we go. I had to get it going. So you could do this like with a jelly plate, like I said, or whatever you want to do, but this kind of gives it that smushed look on here that I'm looking for. Okay, so that's fun. And then I don't have another spritzer, so I just use my leave-in conditioner after it's all done. I rinse it out really, really good. And the colors I used in here are black and wine. I love mixing these two colors together. They're really cool. So those are the colors I did. And it's got a pretty smell because of my leave-in conditioner. So it smells beautiful. Okay, so I'm just doing this. And I want to leave some white too. I don't want to go too nuts here. Not too crazy. And then you take your hands. Like I said, we're gonna get messy today. I probably should have put gloves on because this Rit dye really does get you. So I'll just be wiping my hands because it will stay on there. Okay, so there we go. We got those colors happening. And then I want to take some. Make sure you guys are in frame here. Oh, good. I got you guys up high today. Okay, so we got that. And then you can either use some gesso, which this is just some basic white gesso. I'm going to be using just some paints I've had hanging around forever. And it's just the white, titanium white. And that's what it is. It's Liquitex. And I got it over here because when I opened it, it all went everywhere. So I'm just going to... So I hope you guys are having a crafty day today and getting out all your paint stuff and looking at it and seeing what kind of labels you have. And, you know, especially if you have like an Etsy store or some kind of, you know, place that you ship to or anything, just grab out some of your labels, and they really do come in handy. Okay. So like I said, there's no rhyme or reason here. We're just getting some color down. And I like the earthy tone colors. Those are fun to play with. Okay. So we got those going. So far, so good. And now, let's use, what is this one? Does it? I don't even think it says the color. Oh, you know it does. I just can't find it. It just says green. Yeah, I have no idea. But it's green. It's like that color green. I don't even know if I like that color green. Let's see. Maybe this green? Emerald? We all know emerald green. Okay. Like I said, I've had these for a little bit, so let's open them up. See what they look like here. Okay. And you can even do a little watered down version. And we can just kind of smush it through. And just wisps of color, you know, just some hints of different colors. And then you can take it and okay. And then now I wanted to try this too, is I have, oh my God, I put so much stuff on my desk I can't find anything. This is Denim Blue, and this is a watered down version of the Rit dye. And this is my tie-dye bottles that I use. They just have a little metal tip. So this is Denim Blue, it's Rit dye, and I do a full lid, and then I just fill this up with water. Okay. So let's kind of just do some splats. Just little splats around it. You can kind of shake them down. So we're just getting some fancy stuff on the background here, which is super easy. Okay, and I would suggest if you want, I don't know if I'd use a heat tool gun on this because they get hot and you don't want to peel up your stickers, but maybe like like a hair dryer would work on like a, you know, a lower setting. But I don't know if I'd blast that with a bunch of heat because you don't want to have that sticky plastic stuff melt on you, you know. So we did the brown, we did the greens. I got this color brown, the raw sienna. Let me kind of so let's just try getting it on our fingers here. Just do that. Yeah, I like that color. And I'm just giving some pressure, not like a massive amount of pressure, but enough to kind of smear it around. Okay, just gives it some color in between there. I keep going that way with it. Let's turn the paper. And let's do some other strokes the other way. You don't think about it, you know, because I don't want to think of them individual little pieces. I want to think of it as overall. And then when we take them apart and individually look at them, they're going to be really cool. Okay. So just a dab of color of brown, and this was the raw sienna. Okay. And I think we could use a little more blue. So what do I have? Just blue Nova, okay. And these are just acrylic paints. I don't know if I told you guys that. This might be a little bright. I'm mixing it a little bit with the white. So I'm just going to put a little bit down here. Because I don't want it like, oh my gosh, there's blue, you know. I don't want it like bright blue. But maybe just a hint of blue throughout. I don't know if I had a darker blue. I think I was looking for one. I don't know if I had darker blue. I don't want to make fingerprints. Okay. All right. So there we go. We don't have marks just going one way. I'm going in different directions. So just look around and think, do you want anything other colors down for your base? Oh, I did have this one. This one's cool color. It's just yellow oxide. So it's not like a shocking yellow. It's like an earthy tone. Just yellow. Aye. That goes a long way, huh? So just take it and give it a rub. I mean, you could use a paintbrush, I mean, of course. But I just like to get it in there, you know, and get it a good, bleed it together. Okay. I think we got a good base going. I don't want to get too crazy because I want some white showing through a little bit. So let's see. So let's go ahead and get our, I think we got it. Just make sure you're dry enough here. And we're going to get our stamps. And we could do some fun stamping. So what I have is just the Tim Holtz stamp. It's just with the birds and the just flowers, and it's just the script. And this is just a script, just words on it. So those are fun to have for like background texture. And I'm going to dry this just really quick, and then I will be back. Okay, I think I got it dry enough here. And now I'm going to do some stamping. And I just have a permanent ink one that I use because I don't want it to run. Like if I add water or do any other paints on top of it, it won't run. Where like the Distress Oxide, it's gonna run. It's not permanent is what I'm trying to say. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. So what we can do here is, so I have some stencils we can play with too. And since it is permanent ink, I don't want to ruin my stencils. So this is from my Cricut. It's a, my Cricut cuts out the die cuts for me of what I want. And these would be great just to reuse with permanent ink on it. And then you don't ruin like, you know, like one of your stencils. So this is a good alternative too. Unless you just have stencils that, you know, it doesn't really matter either way. But let's see here. kind of just gonna lay these down without looking at where anything is. I don't think I want them like uniform, so let's go like that. Okay. And let me think what I'm gonna use to dab it on. Just one second. Okay, so I dug this baby out of the depths of my craft closet area. I'm amazed I remember where it was. I had this when I first started doing junk journaling. I used this to ink instead of one of the daubers. So, I mean, this is definitely well used, but, and then I was like, no, I'm getting some daubers. So I'm going to use this with the permanent ink and it won't matter. And I just got it at like the grocery store or the store. It's just a makeup sponge. That's pretty much what it is. And it's got a cute little holder. Then I won't hopefully get ink everywhere. That's the idea, right? Okay, so let's see what we can do here. I'm just experimenting with you guys. Okay, so get a little dip here. So I'm just kind of twisting and patting and just seeing what we get here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It kind of just gives it a little something in the background here. Let's see what we're doing. So I don't mind that. So it's kind of fun. So it just gives it another little texture in the background. Okay, so let's just leave that for now. So that's an idea. So there we go. So we got that. That's an idea. You could do some stenciling in the background. Okay. And then let's do some stamping. Let's see. Really like the birds. Well, that worked. So that's just kind of just another background, little texture. Okay, so let's do the flowers. Okay, there we go with the flowers. So stamping, definitely some stamping. So I'm going to continue. Okay. We can try this one real quick. It's just a regular script. Nothing too cool. I just got these off Amazon. I just typed in script stamps and it comes up with all kinds of them. Okay. Well, there we go. Just trying to get the rest of the ink off of everything. All right. I'll make sure you guys can see it. So far, I think that turned out beautiful. Okay, so now the one thing I think it needs before we say we're set and done is some white. Yes, I have an idea and I think it's gonna be cool. So I'm gonna let this dry. The ink needs to dry really quick and then I will show you guys. Okay, so what I mean by adding a little white is, because it's all kind of dark right through here. So I want to take my stencils, and I'm going to use this butterfly stencil. And so I did a video, and I wanted to, I'll put it down below so you guys can see it. It's a comparison between the Distress Texture Paste from Ranger, the Crackle, let me grab it, the Crackle Paste from Ranger, okay, and spackling. So, yeah, this has been out in the garage. I found a good one, though. You just make sure when you look through them and see which one you want to use. Just make sure it's not all crumbly and dried up. And then I just take a chopstick and see how the consistency, how it's like whippy. It's just like kind of ice, like icing a cake, but a little fluffier. Kind of like a meringue, if you think about it, like on a meringue, the topping on a pie. It's kind of like that consistency. So yeah. Okay. If that makes sense at all, but that's kind of the consistency we're going for. I'm over here making a mess. So, okay. So I will link that below to show you guys the comparison of how those work, because the price is definitely a different range and you get way more for your bang. Okay, so I'm just taking my little knife here, or whatever this is. Kind of like a putty knife, I guess. Spatula. Okay, and then just putting this down where I want it. And I really want to get some texture on here. Ooh. And just hold it down. And usually when you get enough on there, it'll stick down. The stencil will. But I mean, if this isn't perfect, that's okay. I'm kind of just going for more of the texture. I don't know why I keep putting stuff on the wrong side. I don't know. I'm getting too excited and I just jump into it. Okay, so just get it into the crevices like that. And then just wipe it off. And not all of it, of course. Just do a light stroke of it off like that. And there we go. Some of it gets underneath, but you know, that's okay. I mean, you could take something and try to get it off of there, but then you probably just make it worse, so that's okay. It's pretty much just for the texture of it, you know. Just to, for some reason it's bugging me. There we go. So it's just for the texture aspect, because we're going to be ripping the sticker up and you're not going to have the whole butterfly. You'll just have parts of it. So that's the cool part. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing that and see where we get. Loving it. I think it's turning out great. And it's just so much fun. Just, it's so whimsical. And it breaks up the darkness in the back. And you can still see the stamp work. And so I just thought this was just so much fun. And if it's too white for you, I mean, if you want, you can even come back with your sprays and just do a little spritz over the top like that. And kind of give it some color, if you want. Or, you know, do some splattering. You can do a splatter effect on it. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want it as stark white, you know, you can definitely do that. Okay, I'm gonna turn this upside down. My goodness. Yeah, so you don't have to have them upright. You can have them any which way you want. Turn them however you want. Do that. Let's throw some roses real quick. And just make sure you get your stencil rinsed off pretty quick before it dries, or it will ruin your stencil. Because it's made for walls where, you know, it fixes holes, so it will harden pretty good. It'll do a good hardening. Okay, so let's just do this. Lift it up. And there we go. Are you guys loving this as much as me? I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys think. Because, I mean, this is just so much fun. We're having way too much fun here. And now you got your textures in the background. And your cool, you know, swirly textures. And plus your stamping to build it up. And your stenciling. And then you put the spackling on top with your stencils. After your ink stencils, you know, and then you stencil with the spackling, and wow, what a cool effect. Let's hear it. Just to get a little bit more, because I'm having fun here. And then I'll show you guys the big label. I'll do that like in a, you know, not a time lapse, but I'll just do it in a fast motion when I do the bigger label. It's pretty much just the same concept. There we go. And you get yourself a big thing of this. And this is just a lightweight spackling. Nothing too fancy or special, you know. My husband's a contractor, so I went out there and found tons of them. But a lot of them were dried up because we had them forever. And then this one, so just make sure it's light and fluffy. And yeah, this one where it spreads easily. And paintable in minutes, so that's good. So it'll dry pretty fast. So just read it and just whatever. This is a Red Devil, but I'm sure any lightweight spackling will do. Just go to your hardware store or wherever. And there you go, guys. Holy moly. Okay, so let's lay this to the side. And yes, I want to hear in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think of that, because I think that turned out kind of cool. All right, so let's do a big one here. So this is going to be the same concept. It's just when it's all said and done and you let it dry, probably overnight, you know, get it good and dry. And not sure how it will work cutting them with the spackling on top. So we can even skip that part, or you could do it after the fact, you know, because what we're going to have to do is, do the same concept, get it built up with colors and stuff. And then when it's all said and done and dried overnight, we can cut them into labels that we want. Or you can just leave them big like this. And when you're doing a junk journal or any kind of, you know, a journal, say you have it like folded over. Let me find something here. Let me find something, because this might be a good idea. I come up with good ideas on camera sometimes. So you just take your, this is just craft paper. Say you just, this is all done. You could take this, stick it on top. Stick the whole thing on top when it's all done. And then just fold this into a journal cover or a journal page. And you can put it into your journal. So, wow, that would work great. So this is just a big label. And then you can make it into a journal page, a journal cover, or anything you want to do with it. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to do that, huh? That'd be fun. Okay. So on that note, let's turn it this way, because I think that would work really cool as a page. But you could do it either way you want. Whatever works for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is run and go rinse these off real quick before they dry. So I got all that done, and now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this big sticker label and let you guys just watch without me talking so much. And you guys can just relax and we'll just see how we get it done. there we go. So I think that would be great to either use as a cover of a journal, or you can, you know, use it as a signature and just bind it in the middle here and have it on each side. So that's fun. That's a great idea. Stick it to like a craft paper or something. And I wanted to tell you guys, before you rinse these in the sink, because this will clog up your drain if you put too much spackling down in the sink. So make sure to get as much as you can off of the stencil. Just scrape it and get as much as you can off of it before you rinse it. Okay? So I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll play with the other one and see what we can do. So the moment of truth, let's see if we can take a stick. I think it's all dry. It seems dry. So let's see if we could take a sticker off and stick it to, I have a video where I do faux leather and out of a paper bag. So like leather and suede. And this is the suede one. And I can link that down below. And if I forget, remind me. I try to write it down on a little piece of paper as I say it. So let's do leather video. And then I'll remember, hopefully, to go ahead and put it down there for you guys. Just down in the description box is where I'll put it. And it's just different kinds. I show different closures and stuff. And yeah, it's just a little traveler's notebook. Okay, so I want to take one off here. Which one? Which one? So many good choices. Let's do the butterfly. Let's see what happens. So we're just going to take it. I'm scared to undo or have it crumble or something. Okay, let's see. It might crumble a little bit. Oh my gosh, a little bit. But is that cool? Oh, maybe it's not dry all the way. That could be the problem. But yeah, it crumbled a little bit. So we're gonna have to wait and just make sure they dry all the way before you do this. But isn't this, how cute is this? So you could stick it here, or we could stick it sideways. Like that. Yeah, so just make sure they dry all the way. But I think it will stay. So we're gonna go ahead and just stick it down, but it's ready to go. Like, you're ready to stick it and use it as a label. Here, I'm gonna put this to the side, let it dry more. And some other fun things you could do to add to it after you have it stuck down is you could do little clusters. And I do have a cluster video too. Nice. So just in case, you guys want to go check this out. Cluster, so let me remember to do that one. So cluster video. And I just showed you guys how I put these together, but you could go ahead and add that to it. Did I move my glue? I might have moved my glue. Oh, no, right in front of me. I have so much stuff, you guys. I have so many paints and everything everywhere. So this is just, I put it in a little olive jar with a die, a little die at the bottom. And I just glued it. And it just holds it in there perfectly. So this is just the Fabrifix glue. Okay. And once you get enough glue built up, it just plugs it up and seals it. Okay, so let's see. I don't want to cover up the butterfly. So you can go ahead and put down a cluster if you want. And just a little, oops, a little folded up, not ribbon, I can't think of the word right now for some reason, you get on camera and you can't think of stuff, but ruffle, that's what it is, it's a ruffle. I did it. So you could take your little ruffle, and I do have a video, I think, doing this too, how to make ruffles. Jeez. It's like I'm making a plug here. But no, I just want to make sure you guys can see them, and I'll put it down below and you guys can come check them out. So I'm just gonna use the Fabrifix. So like I'm saying, it's just, you can add whatever you want. And if you don't want to do the, you know, spackling, you don't have to. But I think once it dries, I think it's gonna be great. It should just come right off. I hope so. If not, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I would love to hear. But there, you can add a little ruffle to it. I mean, you can have little feathers if you wanted to get nuts here. You can do a little feather cluster, you know, add it to your cluster. We could take a little bit of fabric, put it down here, put a word on it, you know, add a little word, or you could just add a little word. You don't really need to have a, you know, you could do lace, you can have lace on it. This is just linen. So anything you can think of just adding. I mean, I even got some cheesecloth. Like, you know, you could put cheesecloth down somehow, just to cluster it all up and make it however you want. So let's see. I keep seeing small and little. I don't know why. That would be funny. Let's do create. Create seems to be good. That would fit us perfect. And I think it's vintage photo, I'm sure, on my dauber. I'm just using what's on there. Let's see. Yeah, there's vintage photo. And let's create. So I hope you guys had fun creating today and found this informational. And I would love for you guys to tag me on Instagram, and I'd see your pictures if you made some. It's snowstorm_crafts, and I would love to see it. So please, please. And thank you guys for following along. Hit the like button, it helps me out so much. And comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, for sure. And if you could, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. And keep on crafting, guys.